Just like sneak it in there. Whenever.
I started at a perfect time for you to be saying
Okay,
that.
good.
So that's
Okay, good.
That's excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, we're cash over here on Left Track.
Yeah.
We don't even know we're recording a podcast. It's all this natural conversation. We just start and then we stop at some point. Like good too.
You're like the group of friends that's like sitting around joking with your like very inside jokes. You're like, you know what we should have? We should have a podcast for this, but you did it.
Isn't that every podcast?
Yeah, it's every podcast, really.
We do already have our inside jokes. One thing I wanted to mention is that we already have some Left Trek fan interpretations of various characters. There's the obvious one. Geordi the eyeball taker.
Geordi the eyeball taker.
Yeah, in the episode, God, what is it? Episode 3.
I feel like this is an ableist podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty ableist. Okay, so I just want to make sure because I'm ableist too. Excellent.
There you go. No.
Perfect.
Fucking yeah. Geordi
You're
makes
gonna
a
cut
comment.
that, right? You can cut that.
Yeah,
Cut that in post.
We're doing it. Don't worry.
Proximity alert. Vessel approaching. The vessel is hailing.
Space.
Let's say this, and maybe this is the start where this is an all Trekkie cast tonight. The kids are at home. We've got some fucking Star Trek veterans. I guess we should. Okay, so we should introduce ourselves, and of course, anyone who is a Left Trek head will recognize a new voice, the one and only. Wait, do I call you Nicole or do I call you BadBunny? Or
you can call me BadBunny, and you can say also you know Nicole if you would like.
Dr.
Whatever.
Nicole BadBunny.
Yeah. Doctor. Thank you. Yes. This is in fact, yes, Doctor.
The one and only. The streamer extraordinaire. I am, of course, Eric, the Federation's leading mindset expert, and joining me is a wonderful co-host Brian.
Hi, Brian. Trash can 1312. The janitor. I mean,
Sorry,
excuse me. Waste disposal.
The waste disposal expert on Deep Space 3.
There you go.
So we've talked about this before. I watched Star Trek a lot as a kid. My mom was in Star Trek. This is my Star Trek history, and then I kind of rediscovered it growing into adulthood. You know, discovered that I love it. I love the shit out of it. I've seen every episode, of course. I've rewatched it all. Brian, similar. Brian rewatches occasionally. Has apparently not seen every episode, which blows my mind.
Of which series?
Gross.
Of which ones? That's a good question.
I mean, yeah, I've seen all of TNG. I've seen all of DS9. I have watched most of Voyager. A few episodes of Enterprise before I started vomiting and blood came out of my eyes.
Bad. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
So
I tapped out super fast.
Oh no, I'm outnumbered here. I am an Enterprise defender. I genuinely like Enterprise. I think it's good. Or okay, sorry. I think it gets pretty good later on. That's gonna be my cop out. That's gonna be my step back to defend myself.
You just
so no
have to wait until it becomes good. I'm okay, to be honest.
At a certain point that only works so many times. Like there's only so many like slots I have available in my life for that excuse for a show, and I feel like they're all occupied. Like I've used that for so many series. Like gets better. Just hang in there.
It's always like that with TV shows. I kind of feel right? It's terrible.
Is it always like that?
Well, I mean, it's always like that with recommending a TV show. Like, oh, you just gotta stick with it. Promise.
Yeah, but good. like Deep Space Nine is definitely a show where you gotta stick with it. Like I bailed on it and then I rewatched it, or not. I shouldn't say rewatch because I never watched it fully. I watched a few episodes and I was like, this is boring, so I quit. And also, it's coming off the heels of TNG, and it's kind of like, you know, jumping out of a hot tub into a pool or something. Like a pool can be a wonderful experience and a hot tub can be a wonderful experience. But if you're going to jump from a hot tub to a pool and expect a hot tub, it's going to be disappointing. And I was kind of feeling that way about like Deep Space Nine. I'm like, why is commander, why isn't he like Picard? Like he's just like abandoning people. It's like, now we gotta go leave him. I'm like, what the hell is this shit?
he gets angry. He punches Q right in the fucking face. It's sick.
I like how he shut Q down. Like Picard, his relationship with Q was so dragged out because he kept trying to do this like diplomacy and this like this grandstanding, which, you know, is very Picard, but then Sisko's like, fuck you. Just like, nope. Just shuts it down.
Not fucking Cisco. Cisco's gonna literally punch God directly in the fucking face.
Deep Space Nine was something that when I stuck with it and actually like committed, it got better and better, and then it got so good.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's a lot of people that do that because they start watching just like TNG. If they're trying to get into Star Trek in the first place, they watch the first few episodes, like, oh, this fucking sucks, and then they get rid of it. But then you come back later, it turns out it's really good. And unlike TNG, Deep Space Nine actually gets pretty good pretty quick. Like halfway through season 1, the quality starts upping pretty far. Like one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek of all time was like episode 8 of season 1 of Deep Space Nine. Which
one was that?
Duets. Do you remember that one? That's the one with Kira and the guy, and the guy is like pretending to be this war. It turns out this guy is pretending to be this war criminal.
That was a good episode. I don't even like one thing I like, and this again off the rails, but one thing I like about Deep Space Nine is I really
don't worry about it.
Wow, incredible. This is like a true anarchist assembly here. Rails, what are those? Where we're going? Anyways, but like one of the things I like about Deep Space Nine is how they approached the idea of like terrorism and like I don't even know how to say it, like terrorism and anti-fascism. Like the fact that Kira calls herself a terrorist, I think is incredibly cool. Like she's straight up like, I'm a fucking terrorist. What? You're not supposed to say that.
You could not make something like this after 9/11.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do it.
These are that would have never been able to be made in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like how, like you were talking about that episode, the what you said, season 1, episode 8, I think you said. I like how the like approach to these like fascist fanatics, like what do you do? Even though there's a twist at the end, there's like all sorts of twists in that episode. The overall theme of when you're face to face with your oppressor, like what's the proper thing to do? Are there like rules to that, or like is there a value-based system that you should adhere to?
None of us liked killing. We were fighting for our freedom against...
You vaporized the entire East Wing! 12 Cardassians were killed, including Gulpirax's entire family. 23 others were crippled. Don't you feel guilty? Don't you feel ashamed of what you did?
None of you belonged on Bajor. It wasn't your world. For 50 years, you raped our planet, and you killed our people. You lived on our land, and you took the food out of our mouths, and I don't care whether you held a phaser in your hand, or you ironed shirts for a living. You were all guilty, and you were all legitimate targets.
I know a lot of people like to say, like to meme about guillotines or, you know, eat the rich and so on and so forth, and that's all fun and fine, but ultimately, like, it doesn't really describe even it doesn't even give you a slight pinch, even a smidgen of what reality would look like if we actually were in the position of being able to like do what we want with our oppressors, like if the tables were turned. And I think Deep Space Nine it does a really good job of addressing that, and I don't really see that in many other shows. But then again, I don't really watch that many other shows. So.
You don't even see that in other Star Trek. Like it's kind of an entire send up of the whole fucking like philosophy of the Federation. Where I mean they deal with the Bajorans in in TNG as well, where it's like, oh, they're these poor people and they're under the oppression of the Cardassians. They're being marched into death camps and displaced, and the Federation and the Picard is like, well, they're a part of the Cardassian Empire, so this is an internal Cardassian affair.
Can we talk about that? Like, I know that one of the episodes, let me check my notes, excuse me. One of the episodes assigned for today's podcast. It was the first one. It was episode, can we just name the episodes that we watched?
So we watched listed on Netflix. It's and Netflix like combines like two parts into one. So listed on Netflix, it's episode 4, The Last Outpost. That's the one we're talking about now. And then after that, episode 5, Where No One Has Gone Before. My least. Better than I remember, kind of in some ways, but also a contender for like top 10 least favorite episodes of Star Trek of all time.
It's actually way worse than I remembered it.
Oh, really?
I think I don't know why. I don't think it's one of the. I think it really benefits from you discovering what's going on during the episode. I think the like revealing of events is its main selling point, which is like any story. Like you can tell the most boring story, and the most boring story will still have the appeal of you're gonna tell people new things. Like you're just gonna, hey, and then I went to my neighbor's place. Oh, okay, that's like the level of event and like intrigue that I felt for this second episode. It was just like so unbelievably not interesting. And also so Wesley, fucking Wesley. Anything that's like genius, Mensa boy, or good boy Wesley. I just no.
Wunder Kid Wesley. It is truly the most exhausting thing that happens on this show. Like I can't even get angry at it anymore because
I can't either. I'm just like whatever.
So boring, and everyone knows it's boring, and everyone knows it's stupid. But God, is it boring and stupid?
Yeah, right. I used to rage at it, and now I just let it wash over me. I'm like, this is just part of life.
So, what were you saying about episode 4, The Last Outpost?
So episode 4, Last Outpost, at near the end where the I think it was like a portal guard, that one portal guard dude who looks like Oz kind of.
Yeah, I just called him the Guardian.
The Guardian, yeah. When he starts to like yell at the humans for not helping certain groups, like with groups that are being oppressed with like technological advancements that could help them and stuff.
Yeah, the Ferengi blamed them for that, and the
Ferengi was like, yeah, look, they're such savages, they're barbarians for not doing this.
Data was like, yeah, and we love it, we love doing it too.
It made me think of what we were just talking about. With regards to Picard being like, yeah, so it's not our deal. Like, Prime Directive, blah, blah, blah. Which, by the way, what is the fucking Prime Directive? Like, really, what is the Prime Directive? I know you can look it up. I know you can like read something from a website. I know you can hear Picard talking about it in an episode and you think you got it, but it never is consistent, like across episodes. So like, what is the Prime Directive? Like, I want to hear it from your mouth, both of you. What is the Prime Directive? Off the top of your head. Don't Google it. Tell me what you think it is.
I'm going to let Brian go because I think I've got a pretty good grasp on this.
Okay. So the Prime Directive is basically a non-interference kind of policy towards alien cultures, not trying to uplift them, letting culture evolve naturally, and just like not touching, because it's supposed to be like a scientific principle that you're not supposed to bias like your exploration. That's it. That's the I don't remember the exact phrasing of it, but that's the general idea and spirit of it.
I would add on to that. So there's two primary features of the Prime Direction, right? Prime Direction. I said that all the fucking time last episode. I don't know what's wrong with me. The Prime Directive, two leading features: non-interference. That's really. Oh yeah, I guess that's really it. It's like a counter reaction to colonialism. It's like you better not do a colonialism out there in space. And here's how we can keep you from colonialism. Don't touch anyone. Don't fuck with anyone. Don't do anything. Just sit there.
Don't talk to anyone.
Just sit there and look around and don't fucking talk. Don't have any kind of conflictory relationship with anyone, even as they're genociding the populations of 1 million different species. Ally yourselves. You make the Klingons your closest ally. A people that are just constantly butchering planets throughout the fucking galaxy. It's like if the Federation made an alliance with the Starship Troopers humans. Like it is insane to me. But yeah. So and there are people that don't know about Star Trek who watch it. So who watch us. So yeah, the Prime Directive, that's there. We explore this a lot in the last episode, Code of Honor, where
Where
Was that a Klingon episode?
That's the
No.
what's the best way to describe this? That's the racist episode.
Yeah, space black people that aren't the Klingons, but space black people are have a code of honor and have to respect and disrespect that in the same episode. A lot of talking about how the Federation could essentially glass those fuckers, but they can't because Prime Directive.
It's the one where like the planets of like the.
I'll Google it right now.
Like
what's the episode called?
Code of Honor.
Code of Honor. I think you might recognize it if you see any clip, any individual screenshot from it.
Okay, let's see.
I gotta say
This is oh my god.
One of the most offensive
it's like the
pieces
Wakanda
of
goes
media.
Wrong type of episode.
Basically, yeah.
Oh god. Oh yeah. It is like that's a good
And
point.
Tasha
It is
Yar,
like Afrofuturist, except like it's Afrofuturist, but it's like backwards at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it really is like the evil Wakanda.
It is right up there. It's Gene Roddenberry's
Like, what if
version
we try-
of the Turner Diaries.
It's what if black people kept doing some vague hand wave toward like African culture, and
but they're not humans. They just happen to be.
Oh my god!
They just happen to be black people.
That's right. They're just
It's just
wait. You're
planet
right.
of
They're
the
not
black
even.
people.
They're just like that is actually like super racist.
Yeah.
It's like it's more racist than I thought it was, because you're right. It's like finding. It's literally just like an episode about black people and white people. Like, wow, these are aliens. Look at them.
Yeah.
Literally.
They're not like us. They must be aliens. That's what black people are to us.
Tune into episode 2 of the Left Track again to hear me Zotz and Brian's coverage of that very episode.
Tasha Yar in that episode. I lose all respect for her in that episode. Like I can't. Like I can't with her.
Yeah.
I don't want to kink shame, but I feel like this goes beyond her shit's beyond a kink. It's like
Yeah, that's like ooh.
like what?
Oh,
It was so shoehorned in. Anyways,
we're doing everything we possibly
Directive.
can to avoid talking.
yeah,
about
to avoid
these
topic. Yeah,
fucking
Prime Directive.
episodes.
Prime Directive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. Non-interference. If there's a comet, I think the best way to explain this, the quickest way, is by examples. If there's a meteor, a naturally occurring meteor headed towards a planet that's going to destroy the planet, you don't do shit. You let that fucking meteor destroy that planet, because somehow it's the natural evolution of that species to be wiped out of a meteor. That seems kind of stupid, but whatever. That's basically like the don't nation build thing. I'm like, well, maybe you can save like these few billion people that are in like the fucking Iron Age on this planet. What the fuck ever.
So luckily they do usually buck the Prime Directive in those cases, but they also buck the Prime Directive in the other way sometimes. It's very inconsistent.
They go way too hard on it, and they're like, these people are saying, please help us, we're burning alive, and like, well, I can't because the Prime Directive.
Yeah,
like,
and then sometimes
no,
they go
that's not what the
above
Prime
and beyond
Directive is.
to do shit. Like there's this fucking there's this part in Voyager that enrages me where I've been rewatching Voyager recently, so I'm freshly mad at Voyager again. There's There's a lot in Voyager I absolutely fucking despise. Oh, we just rewatched the like don't believe survivors of sexual assault episode because maybe they're just crazy and making it up. That's an episode of Voyager. Everyone
must be what's his name? What was the writer's name that sucks super hard? Like the guy who
Rick
sucks.
Berman.
Oh God. Yeah.
Rick Berman, there it is. Yeah, it's probably a Rick Berman thing.
Rick Berman famously heavily involved in Star Trek Voyager. That is so I could definitely see that.
And you can see the tool marks all over. I
know for
emphasis on
7
the
of 9,
tool.
Yeah, but
right?
like,
I don't. Yeah.
Captain Janeway is trying to follow like the Prime Directive as much as she possibly can, but then on a fucking whim, she's making everyone she's making everyone on her ship pissed at her because she wants to be able to cut through Borg space. She wants to save a few years on their trip, so they interfere in a war between the Borg and this really cool species that's only referred to as species 8472 or whatever the fuck it was, who comes from like this different universe where instead of space they have like liquid, like their universe is like a gel pool, and so she interferes in a war and lets the Borg like kill all of these aliens that they're at war with just so they can get home faster, and then in the same fucking breath she'll stop Tom Paris from photon torpedoing the water planets you know what, this is starting to not make any sense to anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about.
It makes sense enough. I haven't watched all of Voyager, but I can still gather what you're talking about.
Once again, this is the Trek nerd episode. We're gonna be talking about a lot of shit that not a lot of people are gonna have reference for. We'll try not to. I'm very sorry, listeners.
But yeah, we want to go to fluidic space because it sounds nice, kind of wet and wild, you know.
So I guess we gotta talk about the fucking episode. Okay.
Oh, what? Stay on task? Never. We'll never do that.
First episode. I accidentally scrolled up to my previous episode. There we go. It's the first appearance of the Ferengi.
Yeah, I love the Ferengi. I actually fucking love the Ferengi. Like hard.
They turn out to be really cool, and and nothing about that is in this episode where they're introduced. Right. All that work is done in Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine Ferengi, completely different. Like I don't want to be alien racist and say animal. You know what I mean? Different thing.
Xenophobic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a completely different. It's a completely different like species. Like completely. Like I even noticed this in the episode we watched, season 1, episode 4, The Last Outpost, when the Ferengi were introduced. They were pissed off that the Federation employees, what would you call them? Federation not employees, that's not the right
citizens?
word. Citizens? So Riker is a citizen of the Federation, that's why he's
officers?
A communicator?
Do you mean like people from
Starfleet officers?
Starfleet officers, yeah. They're like mad that they're wearing gold and because gold is valuable. And I'm like, no, it's not. The Ferengi don't think gold is valuable, actually. That's why they're like gold when they find that gold pressed latinum doesn't contain latinum, this is worthless because gold is worthless to them.
I love that episode. Yeah, that's another thing that's explored in Deep Space Nine. In TNG, gold is so valuable. In Deep Space Nine, gold is absolutely fucking worthless.
It's worthless. I'm offended that you even think that it might have value.
Yeah.
Quark, all the latinum gets extracted out of these gold bricks, and he's like, it's just worthless gold, and he's just smashing these golden bricks, and he's so fucking pissed. He's covered with all this gold. Like,
I love that. Shit. I love that episode. Yeah. It was like, an episode dedicated to how much they hate gold, and then this episode here, when they introduce the Ferengi, we're introduced to Ferengi being very upset that someone doesn't value valuable gold as much as they value it. It's very,
This podcast is just a commercial for Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine is fucking bonkers good.
You start from episode 1, god fucking damn it.
It's good. It's not as good, but it's fine. So like, I don't know. I kind of love it as like you know, it as a metaphor later on when they're saying like, oh yeah, gold is actually worthless. It's the latinum is inside of it that's worth something, and it's just because of rarity. And that as a commentary on gold by doing that, it's really cool, really cool. But you know, it's interesting because I don't think they were thinking about the Ferengi necessarily as being a recurring recurring characters in the show.
I can that's not true, and I can prove it's not true because you remember the laser whips.
Yeah.
That's a fucking action figure. That action figure was put out and attempted to be mass produced to children, which is later then referenced in Deep Space Nine when Quark has an old action figure that's supposedly worth a bunch of money called Marauder Mo.
Whoa! What? I didn't know this shit. This is interesting.
That was I didn't know that either.
He has an actual action figure that's like one of the ones that was produced for this show. Where it's just a fucking goofy ass Ferengi as appeared in this episode with their laser whip, a weapon that never comes back after this episode. Literally not once in any.
That doesn't disprove what Brian said. Brian said that like they didn't intend on introducing the Ferengi anymore. If they're only introducing the energy whip once and they made an action figure out of it, then your whole argument has crumbled.
Oh no, it's a Ferengi holding an energy whip. It's like literally one of these characters. But who knows? Again, we'll have to ask Gene Roddenberry next
Brian,
time.
do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
No, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying.
I think Brian destroyed you in the marketplace.
Yeah,
that's
why
I am a destroyer.
That's why
I also kind of half understand what you're saying. I like half understand what you're saying, so I'm kind of just going with that, and I'm ignoring the rest that I don't understand.
Anytime anyone disagrees with me and makes me a fool, it just gets cut out of the episode. So,
what the fuck?
Yeah, this is Eric's supremacist podcast. So anyways, the entire reason that they said gold, that shit about gold, is just because it's like an easy 1-to-1 for people to pay attention to when they're going in, right? It's like, oh, gold is something that is kind of meaningless in our world. It's just like something that's meaningful because it's worth something, and that's it, right? And so, you know, I get it. I get why they did it, and I also love that they moved away from that. I don't know. I think that it's funny that they dropped the consistency about it, but I totally get why they did it, right?
No, absolutely. It's shorthand because they're as described in the episode, the Ferengi are compared to, and this kind of confuses me, Yankee traders. Like, do they mean like? Are they trying to say like colonists? Like, I don't really understand what they're trying to say.
Like the almost pirates that were like just like working on the edge of legality when they're trading stuff. I mean, because you know there's a long history of in the beginning of America, of the United States, as it was a colony at the time. During the Revolutionary War, there was a lot of help from pirates who did smuggling for the Revolutionary Army, and also served as a navy sometimes. So you know that's what I think they were referencing, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. You know what I just remembered? The Ferengi make another appearance in season 1. Do you remember the episode where Riker is on another ship, and they're gonna be doing like a mock battle, and they have that one alien who's like a master tactician, and then Data plays the finger game with him? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
The finger game?
Finger? Oh wait. Oh no! You're talking about like the weird like VR chess with the gloves.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and the dude, and then
BadBunny comes through.
Yeah, and then Data beats him not by trying to like out strategy him, but by just like continually keep him in the game until the guy like messes up, basically, right?
Wait, the guy is just like pissed. He's like, I'm this is a joke. I'm through with this. He takes off his control. He unplugs the game, and then he just throws off the controller. Like, this is outrageous. I've never been so humiliated. And he just storms off. And Data explains like, oh, I was just doing like everything he was doing, and so because I'm really fast
right.
and I don't get tired, I can just do this forever.
Yeah.
I do appreciate criticizing gamers this far in the past, though.
It's true.
Well, it just shows they're how long they've been oppressed. It's not funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was gamers.
I'm a gamer, so it's
if you're a gamer out there listening to us on this podcast, it gets better.
God damn it.
I'm trying to find right now in the episode because you were saying the Yankee Trader thing. It made me think of when. In the last Outpost, when they land on that like weird planet with the energy crystals, that when the Ferengi run out, Worf calls them pygmy cretins. He goes, pygmy cretins.
No.
It's just like super not okay.
I didn't even remember that.
I wrote it down because I was like, wait, what? It was on the subtitles. So I'm trying to find it right now so I can prove it so I don't sound like I'm just making this shit up.
I believe you.
Did you hear
oh my god. No, I missed that shit.
Pygmy cretins.
Oh god.
Like Worf is
Star Trek is the most racist show I've ever watched.
It's pretty fucking racist.
Gene
But then again, Worf is a clown. Like I'm not trying to say it's not racist, but I don't think it's hard for me to think of Worf as setting some sort of like example to follow. I mean, I think it will still have that effect on some people because there's always going to be people that like Worf. But isn't like Worf kind of supposed to be a clown? Like,
yeah, well, that's the thing, and his character, and one of the reasons why Denise Crosby ends up leaving the show is because she feels like her character is redundant. She's not given a lot to do, and Worf, and in this episode, has a perfect example of that, where her and Worf are both suggesting the same thing: Alpha Strike. Fire fucking everything we have in these motherfuckers right this goddamn second, kill them, and they're just both parroting each other. Like it's pointless. Why have two characters
Picard there? He's always trying to like avoid violence. So
and Worf, he gets more development later on. But yeah, you're right. Worf is there to offer a suggestion of usually extreme violence, and then is just ignored. Like he's the clown. He's there to be shown to be foolish, like to be offering like a foolish violent solution that they would never do. Like,
and he also gets beat up all the time. He also just gets beat up constantly. That's his other role in the show.
Can I just say something? I'm sick and tired of people saying that Deanna Troi is like a horrible character and she's worthless. I think it's just straight up sexism. It's just straight up sexism. Like, she's a hot woman. I think that's part of it. She clearly can't have any other use other than being a hot woman, right? And two, I think that she embodies kind of the stereotype of femininity, the contribution of femininity to like the world, which is, I don't know how much I personally agree with it, but I think that the show is trying to portray that, portraying her as this like soft, listening, emotional, like empathetic person. And it really pisses me off when people say that she's worthless, because she's almost like every episode is actually really helpful. Like, think like every episode she has some input that like really saves them or helps give Picard an edge they didn't have otherwise, or some sort of insight.
Becomes a victim of poor writing, because like because she is an interesting character, and when she gets her own episodes, oftentimes they're very interesting. She has a lot of very interesting episodes. The actress is obviously very very skilled, and occasionally the writers are just like, What are we doing with her? I don't know. Does she feel any certain way? No. Okay. And then when she would be when her powers would be inconvenient, she's just not there. She's just elsewhere in the on the ship. She's just not on screen. Like, oh god, this situation gotta be really great for this to read someone's emotions here. Where's Troy? Don't think about it. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, Data's
But no,
fate.
I think
Oh,
you're
there
right.
it is. Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right, Nicole. Oh, what's
there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, see?
I'll show like a sound clip, but yeah, no, the subtitles very clearly say
It's undeniable.
Oh,
yeah, that's right there.
and that's in the fight scene. Okay, so yeah,
I used to
So,
have
yeah,
a
Brent
huge crush
Spiner.
on Data. Like
Used to.
I would actually get like giddy and like blush when he would come on the screen. It was really sad shit.
he's fully functional.
I know he's fully functional. Don't think I don't know that shit.
We'll plug in a clip right here of Data going, "I'm skilled in many techniques of."
That picture.
I couldn't get through it. Picard ends up being a French nationalist. Like they're talking about the Yankee traders, and Data's like they're bad because they're not American. Is the theme of it. They're capitalists, but like the bad kind of capitalist, the non-American kind. And Data's like, yeah, well, I doubt they're wearing red, white, and blue or worshiping Uncle Sam. And Picard's like, no. The real colors of the flag are blue, white, and red.
The proper way the French do is the proper way: blue, white, and red.
Yeah, I'm slipping into Russian there. Blue, white, and red.
I love my Russian baguettes. They're the best.
Picard is actually just a stunt for the what's that far right like French party. With Marine Le Pen. What was it called?
God, what is it called?
Like the National or something. I don't fucking know.
We'll just call them the Mariners.
So yeah, Picard is a French nationalist, okay, so real quick, and we'll just jump through this episode real quick. They go to this planet. Oh my god, they're trapped in a thing. They think the Ferengi got them, but oh no, it turns out the planet's got them both. The Ferengi, they're going to offer surrender. It's very humorous, and then the Ferengi surrender, and it turns out, oh my god, neither of them are trapping each other. It's the planet. They go down to the planet and figure out what's going on. A brief fight scene ensues with the famous Ferengi laser whips. A Ferengi fucking decks Riker. It's very satisfying. Data makes a very funny face. And so we continue on, and it turns out they're being trapped here by some guardian of an ancient empire that fell hundreds of thousands of years ago. The ancient guardian is the emotional equivalency of like a very edgy 13-year-old, and he's reading a lot of Sun Tzu, and he's quoting and he's reading Riker's mind, because Riker's also 13, and they're both really into Sun Tzu.
And they get so pretentious with each other. They start like talking over the Ferengi, like, yes, maybe they'll learn. I won't kill them. They're just so fucking pretentious. I'm like, bro, you're not that.
And the worst part of that is, like, yeah, they're talking over the Ferengi, and Ferengi are just goblining around them. They really are. The direction of the Ferengi in this is amazing. They're just so I don't know how to describe any of the way that they're just really goblining it up.
Yeah, no, totally. I bet Goblin was said on set at least once. Could you just like really
cut? We need more Goblin.
Yeah,
we need more Goblin people.
Gene Roddenberry's on set, just like, no, more Goblin. Start waving your hands around and just look up and down. Make sure you're crouching. Really? Start circling the actors. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
They I swear the Ferengi remind me of, if you're watching, in like health class, when you're watching a video on like what to do when someone offers you alcohol or when someone offers you drugs, and they're like obviously so evil when they do it. They're like, hey, do you want some alcohol? My parents are gone. You're like, but that's illegal. Yeah, but doesn't that make it cool? Like, they're so over the top, just bad. And that's what the Ferengi are just like, clearly the bad guy, and they're so obviously directed to be the bad guy in the scenario, and there's always still like the fucking Guardian was like, maybe they have a point. Like he just started falling for their shit. He wasn't like, what the hell is that? He's like supposed to be super old and super wise.
Oh, it is.
Well, he just woke up, so.
Yeah, that's true. He did just wake up.
Don't ask me to judge a species until I've had my coffee.
No. Yeah, so I think that it's funny that there's a lot of direction that future portrayals of Ferengi clearly took directly from this, but also looking at just like the speech patterns and all that, you can definitely see that reflected all the way to Deep Space Nine. But but they take out all the fucking creepy shit, right? Where, I feel like
the goblining.
Yeah, the direction sounded like, okay, so we need you to look like you walk around on all fours sometimes. Like, that's a bit much, isn't it? A bit much. Yeah, but I do appreciate, of course, I always love the portrayal of capitalism as a negative thing. And that is certainly one thing that the Ferengi are very much known for is being a portrayal of capitalism.
And even in this early episode, they are directly said to be reminiscent of the worst instincts of capitalism. Which gets amended in of course, done better later in Deep Space Nine when they're exactly like Americans. See, these are actually Americans, not like old-fashioned Americans. These are like the real Americans, because Quark goes back in time. They're the aliens that appeared in Roswell.
No, actually, Deep Space Nine doesn't even do that. Deep Space Nine says they're better than Americans. They go further because do you remember that whole scene? I forget what episode.
I know
where,
exactly what you're talking
yeah, that one, whatever that fucking scene was, where Quark was like, "Excuse me, we never like genocided our own. We never did all of the bloody wars, all of the fucking horrible shit that humans did. The worst thing we did was bad market shit." And that's it.
Yeah,
it's like if you put it, they're actually exceedingly better than like Americans. Exceedingly better.
And I know exactly where that is. That's in The Search. That's season 3, episode 1. Yeah, but Quark is mad.
God, what a nerd! Look at this.
What a fucking
goddamn nerd.
Big time nerd.
I've become this recently. Like I can quote episode numbers now. Oh, God,
that's so rough. It's almost like we have a podcast about this or something.
I've graduated to a new level of Trekkie in my elder years. I'm in my 20s.
Youngster.
Yeah, because I'll find like a nice spot to insert the speech, because it's really it. Because of course, like genocide. He looks right at Cisco and very pointedly says slavery. We've never done anything like that.
Commander, I think I figured out why humans don't like Ferengi.
Not now, Quark.
The way I see it, humans used to be a lot like Ferengi. Greedy, acquisitive, interested only in profit. We're a constant reminder of a part of your past you'd like to forget.
Quark, we don't have time for this.
But you're overlooking something. Humans used to be a lot worse than the Ferengi. Slavery, concentration camps, interstellar wars. We have nothing in our past that approaches that kind of barbarism. You see, we're nothing like you. We're better.
We're just
Cisco says slavery.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Hey Cisco, I'm blaming this on you. All right, I'm just gonna. You know what I'm talking about. All right, don't act like you don't.
Let me find the only black people on Deep Space Nine and be like, slavery.
Well, and it's really poignant because like also later on, Cisco is because they actually talk a lot about like race, because and Avery Brooks was a big proponent of this.
Yeah. If you saw the Deep Space Nine documentary, you would also know this.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm so
what? Wait, how am I more of an?
I'm
how am I more of a nerd than you?
I'm such a fake fan because I was excited to see that thing for way before it came out, and then it came out and everyone was watching it, and I wanted to see it in the theater, and then I didn't, and then I skipped it.
Free on YouTube. If any of your listeners want to check it out, I'm pretty sure it's still still free on YouTube. It might not be anymore, but I'm pretty sure it still is.
Yeah, definitely.
It shows Trump in it. They shit on Trump in it, which is like I'm not looking for some like I'm not expecting like full commie thing, but I think it's cool when I think they were shitting on Trump before it was as I don't know. They show Charlottesville. They show Trump. They show a few like they're showing they portray the alt-right and like the way that fascism is starting to like actually happen. Like, I mean, not that it hasn't already been happening, but really put it into gear happening, which I thought was pretty cool because again, it can be kind of libby, but I expect that from the world.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see shitting on Charlottesville. I think that's a pretty good angle.
Deep Space Nine always been a very, very based, like one of the most based shows I've ever seen.
It is probably one of the most, if not the most based show I've ever fucking seen.
I'll tell you one thing, it's the only fucking show I've ever seen that literally quotes from the Communist Manifesto in a moment.
And a fucking Ferengi does it too, and when they're organizing. He literally quotes Mark.
Rom, can we talk about this?
There's only one thing I have to say to you. Workers of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains.
Bar Association, you know what? Best episode of Star Trek that there is. It's a
really good episode.
It is a really good
it's up
one
there
too. Yeah. Oh my god.
If you don't know, listeners, this is with Rom. It's Rom, right? Rom is Quark's brother, and Rom is working for Quark. Quark is a Ferengi that's running a bar, and his brother Rom is kind of like his like employee, and Quark is a horrible boss. Like he's an extreme capitalist. And I don't mean that in like a crony capitalism is bad and nothing. No, all capitalism bad. But like he's like very much a distilled, potented version of capitalism. So he's like kind of like a monster.
Warning. Warp core collapse in 10 seconds.
Hi, this is Eric from Left Trek. I'm sorry to interrupt the leftist Star Trek podcast fun, but I wanted to bring a brief interlude and editor's note, because this is a week after the recording, and I still haven't finished the process. This is because we have a new audio setup. You may have noticed some audio inconsistencies up to this point, and there may be more going here on out. What I was doing is taking each individual time that Brian would speak or laugh and just lowering that tiny section of audio just down a little bit to correspond to the waveform of the rest of the podcast. That's taken a lot of time, and it's been a pretty busy week. I'm no longer going to be doing that, and I apologize if that leads to any audio inconsistencies on your listeners' end. Please enjoy the rest of the recording.
Specify parameters.
And one of the rules of acquisition, because the Ferengi have all these like capitalist rules, is to like treat your family, treat your something like
actually,
their family.
No, I don't know this. Actually,
yes, you fucking do.
So.
Yes, you do.
Come on.
And you're just dying to say it. It's like treat your employees, or treat your employees like your family. Exploit them, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was close enough.
I'm Googling it.
Basically, you just Google it.
I don't even. I can't.
Just say it.
Well, okay. So, it's even worse. Okay, so you've taken two different rules of acquisition and kind of combined.
Shut the fuck up. No, I haven't.
So it's treat those in your debt like family, exploit them. That's the other one. But the one about employees is employees are the rungs on the ladder to success. Step on them, or that, I think the that last part is a little different, but it is employees are the rungs on the ladder to success.
Anyways, I basically got it right.
No, yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
we got I've got all of the references to employees from Memory Beta, which is not Memory Alpha. What? Anyways,
Memory Alpha. Oh my god, I'm such a nerd. Memory Alpha is the canon wiki. Memory Beta is the non-canon wiki.
Yeah, it goes into the novels and stuff as well.
I feel so ashamed.
Work is the best therapy, at least for your employees. Which is 63. I don't get that one. That doesn't make sense to me.
Are you in Memory Beta or Memory Alpha?
I am in Memory Beta.
Yeah,
so
that's from the books. They ain't fucking.
I know.
Can I tell you my two of my favorite Ferengi rules of acquisition? It's not my only two, but they're definitely my. They go together. Wait. I'm gonna just say it like that. Okay. Eric, these are two rules of acquisition that I like, and they're paired. Can you guess which ones they are? They go together.
War is good for business and peace is
yes,
good for
you got it right.
Damn it,
War is good for business and peace is good for business or something like that. Whatever.
That's exactly. It's the scene where they bring that up is funny because you know what? I'm not, I can't.
It's the weapons deal. It's the weapons dealing episode. Right?
I can't talk about my insight. I'm like that fucking guy from Ready Player One who can quote like every line from War Games. Oh god, I've become what I hate the most.
Yeah. You gotta love rules number 34 and 35 of the rules of acquisition.
But we can't keep talking about good Star Trek. We have to talk about this shitty season 1 bullshit. The Ferengi. Okay, so yeah, the Guardian.
Okay, can I say something about the first? Can I say one more thing before I forget about
Please.
the season 1 episode 4, the last outpost of season 1 episode 4 of the Next Generation, of course.
Please.
Is I believe that Data getting his finger stuck in the Chinese finger thing.
Yeah, I forgot to mention.
I believe this to be an analogy, such as think of his two fingers as the two ships, the Ferengi ship and the Federation ship. See, both ships, if they're doing what they instinctually want to do, which is like pull away and like hate each other and attack each other, see, they cannot get out. Now they need to work together and meet together, and then both of them can get free, such as, like his fingers in the finger trap. Thank you.
And
that's good.
Yes.
CinemaSin style ding. Data should be able to just rip that fucking thing right apart. I mean, I could rip them apart when I was a kid.
What is this material that like cannot be broken even by like a superhuman because like
later in the episode. Later in the episode, can straight up carry a Ferengi around by the neck.
Right. Yes, that's true. Yeah,
or he can just take off his finger,
or just be smart enough to figure out. Like he can do everything. He can like calculate. Like
he's been having his repertoire this particular like apparatus.
Or
like
just,
he knows all these.
Figuring the fucking thing out to just push the things together. Like, come on, Data. Why would you even? Why would he even replicate them in the first place? Without? Okay, here's. Why would he even have one? Why would he even think to have one? Why would he just have replicated one of those? Just
curious. He's just curious. He's just a curious boy.
What? He doesn't read. He doesn't even read about it. He just sees like this little woven tube and is like,
right.
Cool.
Wait.
I'm just
the way he got it
in the briefing.
Wait, are you telling me the way he got that is he just randomly replicated it but never even like read what it is like at all? He like somehow located the pattern and he was like, that'd be cool. How do you know to put his fucking fingers in it, actually? Like, why would he just stick his fingers, both of them in it?
He doesn't even know what to do with it. He is like,
why would he do that?
Trying to explain
If I see a fabric tube, I'm not like, hey, what if I suck both of my fingers in it simultaneously? That's not my fucking first thought. I don't know what my first thought is, but it's not that.
He's just fucking with it. He's just playing around with it like a fidget spinner in the middle of a meeting, and then his fingers get stuck, and it's like, look, his fingers getting stuck. It's hacky. That's
so we know that Data is coded autistic. We know this. This is bringing up the fidget spinner is a low blow. And I am not ableist. I like to make this very clear to your listeners. So I'm refusing to allow this to stand.
Yeah, don't worry, that'll stand.
Damn it.
But next episode we have a surprise guest appearance from he's
Guy's a dick.
He's put away his previous life of which one's the okay what
Kazinki?
What did you say? Okay, it's Kaczynski.
Yeah, it's like the same last
That's
name.
That's basically the thing.
No,
okay.
I think it is. I think.
And why did you say Ted?
Because it's funny to call him.
I guess we're just real funny over here on Live Track. We're saying maybe we shouldn't say multiple times in a leftist podcast.
Oh come on! No, well, no. The thing is, hey, here's the thing. The guy's a big know-it-all asshole. You know who else was a big know-it-all asshole? Or is, I guess, still.
I think
actually,
Eric.
I think it's actually gonna be really funny if I bleep out every time I say it, and so no one's gonna know who we're even talking about.
That'd be really. Please do that.
Yeah, it would be very funny.
So, here's a little bit of lore from this episode. The guy, he's this hack fraud. The T-Man he's a hack fraud. He's coming on to the ship and oh my god, everyone knows he's full of shit. They introduce a character who is described as a chief engineer. That's interesting because last episode we saw.
What is a chief engineer? How many chief engineers are on a fucking starship?
There's multiple because.
And who's above them?
No one, I guess. I don't fucking know because
there's some sort of like horizontal hierarchy of like everyone's a chief. Here's like what the fuck?
Everyone's chief.
Some weird communist garbage. I've had it.
I'm done.
There are multiple like a horizontal organization of chief engineers because they have another chief engineer because they say a chief engineer in this one and they have another chief engineer last episode, McDougal, the lady chief engineer. And so chief engineer is like a position where you're just like an important engineer, and there's not like chief engineer until Jordy gets that. I don't know.
So whenever they have a guest, they just go like, just give them any engineer, and that'll be the chief engineer. And then every single guest that come in the ship thinks that they're like being treated really well, but they're just getting fucking not actually. They're just getting like Brad from behind the counter. He's our chief engineer.
You
like,
get
wow.
to be the
captain can't make it, but you have Brad. I'm like, whoa, thanks.
You get to be the chief engineer on this episode. Like, oh, cool. I'm an important character. Wow.
And they also make fucking Wesley an acting ensign in the same episode. So the whole organization is just in disarray. I don't trust it. What is that? Like 15 chief engineers, and then fucking Wesley Wesley has some sort of. He's an acting ensign. Like,
and in the
not even yet.
No, he's made an acting ensign in the very end of this episode, like officially, like he is.
Officially, finally. But he's just been able to run around the ship and go wherever he'd like, like to the point where Kaczynski even was like, was even like, what is this child doing here?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Which
he's
explaining
all this fucking
technobabble.
Yeah,
boy. And honestly, to give Wesley credit, he reacted super well to it. He just smiles and laughs, and I'm like, you know what? That's actually a really great way to react to someone that's trying to like talk down to you. Is just like smile and just like, ha.
What is this boy doing here?
Yeah, just be like, oh, okay, Grandpa.
I wrote down that moment as oh no, sorry. This is when they start actually trying to do shit. Okay, so yeah, so the K-Man's there. He shows up. blah blah blah. It's kind of weird. They start and I described this episode previously as the hand job episode. Oh yeah, I remember. And so this is the second time that Wesley has made a fool of a chief engineer. He does it in the last fucking episode as well, where he's like, what if we could make the tractor beam a repulsor beam? And the chief engineer McDougal, she's like, what how are we gonna do that? We need weeks. And Wesley's like, oh, I can just see the circuits in my head. Why don't you just do that? Here, I can reprogram the tractor beam into a make go far away beam. Wow. So Wesley should be the chief engineer, actually, not even an ensign, because apparently these chief engineers don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really like married to procedure there at Starfleet, huh? It's like this kid can do everything and more than a chief engineer, but because he hasn't gone through like he hasn't stand in line in the DMV for like years, he can't actually be like a chief engineer. I guess maturity might be a thing, but still, maturity doesn't mean that you can't be like a ranking officer of some sort, be like above ensign.
Yeah, I mean they do that with like the Maquis and Voyager, right? Yeah.
Oh God, don't get me started on the Maquis. We just have a whole conversation about the Maquis. I don't know how to feel about them.
We'll do like a spotlight episode on the Maquis.
What the hell is that?
It deserves its own feature because I have so many things to say and we cannot cover any of them right now.
My views on the Maquis have changed a lot over time, and so like I'm never gonna feel confident in my take on the Maquis, but I still want to like talk about it. You know?
Absolutely. There's a lot there. That's for fucking sure. One of my least favorite things in Deep Space Nine is about the Maquis. So stay tuned, Star Trek fans. We'll have a little conversation about that a few years from now when we get to Deep Space Nine.
In about 5 years, we'll
check the Patreon. We'll do a premium episode about it. Hey, we don't have a Patreon yet.
Can I say something that pissed me off, kind of, sort of, in this episode?
Yeah, please. Please.
No. Yeah. Let's get back to it. When near the end, where everyone on the ship had to concentrate on their duty or concentrate on the traveler's well-being. To like make sure that he would feel better, because apparently they're in like a part of the universe where your thoughts are like manifest into reality. First of all, that's cringe. I'm just gonna straight up say it. It's fucking cringe.
Finally, there is a place in the universe where the facts do care about your feelings.
Thank you. Yes. It's cringe. Also, it doesn't make any fucking sense, because I don't know about you. I don't know why we were seeing all the shit we were seeing on the ship if people's thoughts were being manifested. Like Picard runs into his grandma that's been dead for like 50 years. And like, what is he just walking around the ship, just constantly thinking about his grandma?
That's a good point. Yeah,
of course he's walking around thinking about his grandma. He loves his grandma.
He was like, what, grandma? What is this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So yeah, the traveler. So there's this fucking alien. It's called the Traveler. He's accompanying Mr. K, and then Wesley. And I misremembered this. Wesley is the one that informs the Traveler how to make the ship go fast. The Traveler does it, like he has the energy, but Wesley is the one that shows him fucking how to do it. I didn't even remember that.
Was Wesley showing him, or was he letting Wesley show him?
Yeah. So he's doing the stuff, and then Wesley like comes in and goes like, what if you did this and this and this? And the guy's like, oh wow, that does make sense. And so yeah, Wesley's the one who's programming the fucking computer to make it go fast with the thought energy. Damn it.
Damn, I never caught that before. That's interesting.
Oh, I
didn't catch it because it's a Wesley episode, and you're like trying your best to just fucking get through it.
Towards the end of this episode, I really checked out. I'm gonna be honest. I was watching.
Oh yeah, I know. I fucking did too. I really did.
My notes really slacked off at the end. So they use the Traveler, and this guy's making these engine modifications, and it's bullshit. It's actually the Traveler who's going and checking out humanity, and is just letting this guy take credit because he doesn't fucking care. And so they go far away, and boom, CinemaSins ding right here. So in Voyager, they're 70,000 light years away, and it says that's gonna take them 70 years. But here they're 2.7 million light years away, and then they say that that's going to take 300 years. Don't think your math checks out on that one.
Wait, I wrote that down too. I wrote
really?
1,700,000 light years away, 300 years to get home at maximum warp. But wouldn't that... Well, warp isn't light speed. Warp is faster than light. So, wait, what was the prior thing that you said before this? That you said there are a couple numbers before you said it.
Voyager is 70,000.
Oh, you can read a Voyager.
Yeah, Voyager is 70,000 light years away and is described as, and it says that maximum cruising speed would take them 70 years to get home instead of it. And those numbers don't line up. Ding.
Also, pause here. I just want everyone to know that Eric did not have to look up that number.
Oh no.
Eric did not have to look up that number. Pulled it out of his ass while we were watching the episode. So fucking nerd.
Yikes.
What a fucking dork. Oh
okay, I have a question for Eric.
This is the lowest point of my entire life.
Eric, so in this episode, 2,700,000 light years away, 300 years at maximum warp to travel home. Now, how long would a message back to Starfleet take?
Oh, they said 55 years, right?
I think it was something like 50 something. Something like 50 something years, which is like, okay, so what is that? Why are messages sending? Information is sending way more quickly than maximum warp. What is this speed?
There's two different kinds of like bullshit that they use to get around
That's way faster, to be clear. That's way fast. That's 300 years versus like 50 something days.
Yeah, and subspace is kind of like a way more like science fiction thing than even than like warp drive, because there's like an idea of like how warp drive is possible. You can describe how warp drive would be, even if it's not physically possible in our universe. You can describe how it would be possible. Subspace is just, you send a message through like the fucking Shadowfell from Dungeons and Dragons, or like the Nether from Minecraft.
I think of it as like whenever people say subspace, it's hand wave stuff. And if you really want to get technical, you might just get a piece of paper out and like, fold it and poke the hole through with like a pencil, and you're like, "Whoa, that's subspace,"
Yeah, it's like this other realm of being, and they use a lot of different things for it, and it's kind of unclear. But yeah, they're basically just sending a message through another realm, and where like horrible monsters are or something. It's neat, but yeah, it's more hand wavy shit, Yeah.
It's hand wavy magic stuff. Yeah. Because there are creatures that live in the subspace that you find out in other episodes, and they have to contend with that. I think Shadow Realm really kind of captures it pretty well, because like there's like weird subspace monsters that are like invisible that'll show up at some point.
Yeah, it's like Shadowfell from D&D, because it's like our world, but it's like dark, and also you can go way faster because it's like an 8th scale miniature of our world, or like the Nether in Minecraft, which is the same thing. Like there are analogous points in the two realms, but the actual physical distance is much shorter in like subspace or the Shadowfell or the Nether, and so then you can send a message and it'll get there way quicker for some reason. Space magic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Space magic. Yeah.
So another CinemaSins ding. But later, they're in galaxy M33. That's a real galaxy. That's a real classification of a galaxy. Isn't that neat? They're in a real life galaxy.
Oh.
That's how they like name the other galaxies, like M something, which I think means like it's an object,
like an M-class planet type classification, sort of.
No, it's the name of the M. The M is also the name of like the specific kind of radio telescope that they use to identify galaxies, and so it's M something, which is like means that it's an object discovered by the M telescope, whatever it's called. I'm embarrassed I don't remember it. Yeah, so it's like a M object, but it's another galaxy. That's how we know it's other galaxies. Excuse me. I hate myself. so they try to go back home, and then and oh my god, they go billions of light years away. Here's the next CinemaSins ding. They were Picard says now they're millions of light years away. Picard, you are already millions of light years away. It's supposed to be billions. It's ding. That's a CinemaSin. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
Embarrassing.
I'm sorry.
I wrote down bringing them a billion years from their home galaxy. So that's my notes. I'm just saying, we have a difference of opinion here.
And there's some interesting stuff here too, because like they're in a place where like thought and space are one and the same, and I like that because that's actually similar to like a fantasy / science fiction concept that I use in a book that I've been working on for a while. So I kind of like that idea.
It's weird that like no one had like wild sex. Like everyone's just so fucking like stale in the future. They're so wholesome and shit that they're all like, I'm thinking of my cat. I'm thinking of my pig.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking of my grandma.
Oh, Tasha has like
she has things of rape gangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Thank you.
That's pretty rough.
She has a PTSD flashback from her home planet, which are humans. It's like the human colony that didn't end up working out, and yeah, multiple times, especially in season 1. Oh man, they love saying the word rape gangs in season 1.
They really do.
It's
a little on the nose, to be honest with you. Like like
there's no subtlety there.
Yeah, there's no I just have a hard time believing that if there were actual rape gangs in this scenario, that they would straight up just casually always just refer to them as rape gangs. I don't know. It just feels a little. It feels a little like, okay, we get it, you know.
Yeah, it feels a little Gene Roddenberry.
Speaking of, I'm doing voice stuff for Jesse. I did voice stuff for Jesse Gender's next video, and it's gonna be about Gene Roddenberry and like Gene Roddenberry's like message or his what was it? You know, when people say Gene Roddenberry or Gene Roddenberry's blah. What is it? What am I saying? You know what I'm talking about. When people try to say
misogyny?
Vision, there it is. Yeah,
Vision.
Gene Roddenberry's vision. It's about like what like so many Trekkies think is Gene Roddenberry's vision and like the reality of what like Gene Roddenberry's about. And I'm super excited. I've seen little peeks of it and it looks so good. But yeah, so
I'll
I'm excited.
definitely check that out because
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry's vision was actually pretty stupid, and a lot of other
that's what she kind of that's what the little that I've seen, that's what she kind of like outlines. Because I think so many Trekkies think that he's some sort of like genius that just died too quickly before he could like really like flap his wings, and you know the only time he was not able to express his pure genius is because of like all the other people in his life that were trying to stop him or something, which you know there's probably some truth to it.
Well,
but
and as we've covered on Left Trek, the best thing to ever happen to Star Trek was
That's a hot fucking take. Yeah.
I'm cutting that out. No, I'm not.
Also, I just want to say, hey, shout on the heels of that hot take. Shout out Jesse Gender, really cool YouTuber.
Oh no, I put my terrible hot take in the middle of this plug for a good content creator. Shit. I mean,
you can edit this, right?
It started.
This will be a podcast.
The whole thing. It's just five full minutes of just and then other people talking. It's. I mean, I will say the show started getting a lot better after. Pretty one-to-one parallel. I'm not. Anyway, so they go to a place where thoughts and space and time are the same thing. We get the first appearance of a Targ. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
We get the only appearance of a Targ, I think, in literally any series. Maybe Enterprise has one. I don't remember.
Star Trek Online has them.
What's a Targ?
Remember when Worf summons the pig with the razors on its back?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why randomly would all of a sudden, like, if everyone's thoughts are being manifest into reality? Why, of all things, he's like, oh, there's my tarp.
My childhood pet Targ.
Yeah.
Oh, my Targ. I was
It's
constantly
very
thinking of my
hacky.
Targ. No, you weren't. You fucking weren't, actually. You're thinking about Gawk or something. Whatever.
Yeah. Get just a bunch of worms.
Yeah, you're just thinking of like having sex with some like weird bucktooth like fucking Klingon woman or something. That's what you've been thinking of.
Yeah. It's just like really, and a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
That's how Klingon sex goes.
And pain sticks. Ooh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds great, but you know.
I don't know. How does a pain stick even feel? That yeah, we'll have a premium episode on pain sticks as well as the Maquis. Moving on.
He's so hot.
Left Trek After Dark. Talk about all the weird sex stuff that's implied in Star Trek.
How many times Dax broke bones? Oh my god.
Oh, yeah,
I could like spend an entire I could spend an entire podcast just talking about Klingons, and like I hate them so much. I fucking hate them so much. And like I know that makes me some version of racist to fucking be anti-Klingon or something, but like I fucking cannot with the Klingons. They're just straight up toxic masculinity. That's it.
Well, and that ends up rubbing off on Worf too, because Worf
sucks. He's like a neutered version of like a toxic masculinity thing. Like, he's nothing good. He's not super awesome at being a Klingon, which would suck, but at least you're doing that. Yeah, like, and he's not super awesome at being a human. He's just like this fucking castrated, he's
the
like
new castrati.
Oh god.
The episode where Worf and Dax go to fucking Risa, and there's a bunch of like these reactionaries. That's your favorite? Worf is horrible on that.
I love that episode because he's so it's entertaining to see him looks so he's just oh god, I have a screenshot of it in my phone that I need to start sharing to a meme because it's like so perfect. I'll find it. But no, I love that episode because if anyone watches it like with our experience in politics, even libs, you can immediately identify Worf as like a Trumper. Like he's like a Trump supporter, but he's like a square. He's not even like kind of, I'm not trying to say Trump supporters are cool, but there's definitely a spectrum of like cooler to like way more squarish and lame. And he's like super, super squarish, lame Trump supporter.
And he ends up committing an act of fucking domestic terrorism, which almost ends up like destroying Risa, like destroying the fucking paradise planet that these fun-loving aliens like, belong to. I hate that people are relaxing here.
I made friends with a bunch of religious terrorists, and now I'm gonna help them do a terrorist attack. Like,
and then fucking Jadzia just stays with him. She's like, "That's cool. I'm just a down-to-earth chick who doesn't really." I'm just so chill.
And his reason for that is like it's like Zack Snyder's fucking Superman. Like his reason that he becomes conservative is because if he was wild, he accidentally killed some guy while playing football when he was a kid. Oh my god, that's the reason he's a reactionary now. Like what the fuck? I think that is my second least favorite episode of Deep Space Nine.
Oh my god, I love that episode. I really love it.
My least favorite episode is the one where Cisco blows up that planet of Maquis. Oh my god, I hate it so much.
He blows up the planet Maquis?
Oh, we'll talk about it some other time.
I can't remember it right now, but
we'll talk about it on the Maquis premium episode. Stay tuned for the Left Trek Patreon.
Yeah, when we ever start a Patreon. It maybe happen eventually.
We'll do that. We'll do that after Elliot comes on next week because we have episode 0 to put on as a reward.
Oh my god, that's right.
Here, I'll fill you in real quick, Nicole. We actually attempted to make this podcast once a year prior, and we were gonna watch the Picard series, and it was so bad that I became entirely dispirited from the project, and I just never edited the first episode. And
Picard series, I only watched one episode of it, but like if you know Uncanny Valley, it's Uncanny Valley, it's that, but instead of like is it a human or not? It's like, is it Star Trek or not?
Yeah.
It like has the same people, but they're not quite the same. It's like same kind of themes, but not quite the same themes. Same like it's like it's I've used this analogy where if you're walking up a flight of stairs and then there's a stair that's just like a little bit too short compared to the rest of them, it's like it's still a stair. You can't deny it. Right? It's still functioning as a stair, but it doesn't quite work with the rest of them. And I feel like Picard is that for the Star Trek franchise. It's just like, if it was a show that was different with different people and whatever, and not trying to be a Star Trek, then maybe it could have some legs, you know? But
same with Discovery.
I can't. Like, I just can't do it.
Picard is genuinely one of the, and we're all gamers here, so I can say this. Picard the series rips off Mass Effect. It really does.
Oh, does it really?
Yes, they have the fucking Reapers from Mass Effect. It blows your fucking mind when you see it. Picard is one of, and I'm not kidding. Picard is genuinely one of the worst television series I've ever seen in my entire life, with no exaggeration. Okay, we'll wrap up the fucking
one last thing about the episode. The no one is gone before or whatever. Man in a dress.
Oh yeah.
Want to make a note of that. That's in it. Man in a dress.
I'm very upset that they kind of abandoned that pretty quickly, because they have the short like the uniforms, and some of the men wear them, and they're very short dresses. They're like what's even the word for that? Yeah, well, like
mini dress.
Like
I don't know.
What's like a pencil skirt, but it's not like a skirt. It's part of a dress, but it's like just right above your business. It just cuts off right below your business. Like,
it's a tunic. It's a tunic.
I think it's a mini. I don't know.
It's very attractive nonetheless. You see Riker in it sometimes. It's great. So whatever. Who cares? Let's stop talking about this stupid episode. Wesley saves the day. Hooray! He's such a genius. They spend the last 10 minutes of the episode just fucking stroking off how cool and smart this kid is. And everyone knows Wesley sucks. Will Wheaton, the actor that plays Wesley, who turned into a horrible hack fraud as an adult, he knows.
Is he that bad? I like get annoyed with him, but is he really that bad?
No,
is he like a lib?
He's
like a cringy tabletop gamer lib type, right?
Yeah. Like kind of like
a dude with a MacBook that puts stickers on it and he brings it into a cafe. That kind of guy. Watch everyone listening to this. It's like, fuck. Oh, fuck, it's me.
Nicole's even like, fuck, it's me.
Oh, fuck, oh, God, what am I doing?
It turns out we were all Will Wheaton at the end of the day.
Gosh.
We're all the Thunder Kid.
Bazinga.
Oh, no. Don't cross those streams.
And Will Wheaton is the guy, I feel like he's the type of guy that thinks Elon Musk makes like good memes. He probably just like a laughing, crying face reaction to his memes or something. I feel like he's that type of like lib, just insufferable and just never so offensive where you can like legitimately feel comfortable being like horrible to him. Like I've dealt with this today when I was reacting to this lib I saw on my timeline saying something like that we should aspire for a world where Black people are treated like Kyle Rittenhouse, and where Kyle Rittenhouse is not treated like George Floyd. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like,
it's like bird brain shit I've ever heard of my life.
It is bird brain, and I'm like, and he has so many of these tweets where it was like his vision of the world where like Black people are treated just like white people. Like no, it wasn't even that. It was like the way that we treat white people. You know, we need to make sure that Black people are given that treatment, like which is like it's a ridiculous perspective because it's devoid of any understanding of like race relations and whiteness and like how it works. Like whiteness is the oppression of Black people. Like you can't have like you can't be like, wouldn't it be cool if Black people could benefit from Black oppression? That would be the best. Like it's not possible because
it's like that guy saying we don't need Black socialism, we need Black capitalism to solve racism.
Anyway, so yeah, this dude was like, you know, I look at his timeline, he has some like generally good shit, but it's just like, you know, Glenn Greenwald or whatever the fucker's name is, and like Jimmy Dore, and I'm like, you know, this dude, like, I can't hate him super hard like I could hate like a straight up fascist, but I hate him. Like, you're a fucking insufferable lib, and I just hate you. I hate you for really rational reasons, but none of them are easy to like really express in a quick, quippy thing in my head or on a tweet. So that's how I feel about someone like Will Wheaton. It's like, I know he's not actually helpful to anything that we're fighting for, but he's still enough of a fucking lib where I feel like I can't criticize him as much as I could say somebody who's far more right.
Yeah,
I just fucking hate libs.
He didn't end up being a horrible chud like Echep from Voyager. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not a chud. That's for sure. But he's certainly like, he probably thinks that you should just vote blue to save the world or something.
Oh yeah,
like, I don't know.
Tim Russ is very similar to that. Like Tim Russ, I follow like all the Star Trek people on Twitter, and then I realized they were all kind of insufferable libs. And I
like William Shatner, what a fucking monster.
That's interesting. William Shatner does not actually run his Twitter account. Some absolutely fucking
Wait, what?
Okay, I feel crazy because I don't know how I'm the only person that knows about this. But yeah, so there was a thing where William Shatner was a Twitter account was tweeting about like CW drama shipping. There is some deranged. I'm serious. There is a deranged social media manager out there who is just using William Shatner's Twitter as their own Twitter, and they spent forever talking about active like live tweeting CW show shipping and stuff.
What?
They end up
maybe
posting,
William Shatner's into CW shit.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely not him. not anyway. The man's like 90 something years old. He doesn't even know what Twitter is. He doesn't run his thing, and there's like a lot of like horrible takes that this deranged social media manager ends up posting. It's not him. Don't worry, everyone. I feel
That's wild.
Because they also got into a fight with like Red Letter Media as well. There's a whole thing about it, and it's so crazy that they like, well, this would never be a social media manager. It's got to be him, because what social media manager would do this? But it is. It's so crazy person that's running his Twitter account.
Wow.
Making him look like a fucking idiot. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
20 minutes later.
Well, you know what we're gonna do? We've had so many interesting things to talk about. I'm going to be split here it is. Smack decision. I'm launching the Patreon for Left Drag. I will split this up into two parts, and we will put the extras onto Patreon. Extended talk with Nicole BadBunny. You want to hear about some interesting stuff behind the scenes? Subscribe to our Patreon. $1, only one tier, $1 a month. It would be less. We're financially making. It's really like economics, because if it's $1, then you have to pay for it. It's not worth it for you not to pay for it.
Yeah,
you lose money. You're honestly losing money if you don't pay for it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're losing money by not subscribing to our Patreon.
Yeah.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a year, you can subscribe to our Patreon.
Coffee a year.
Okay, 3 a year.
For the price of one extra Venti Frappuccino with extra caramel, it's just entirely caramel with one like mixed in coffee bean in there. You too can get premium content on the Left Trek Patreon. At some point, I'll also edit together episode 2 with Elliot ETC coming on next week. Look forward to it. I'll edit this out if he's not coming on next week.
Hey everybody, if you have a nice time here, just consider throwing a dollar at us. Like you would someone playing music on the street.
Yes.
We're at least as valuable as a person playing music on the street. Come on.
Don't be like me. Don't be like me. Walking through Truckee, California, and there's this guy just beatboxing on the side of the street, and he's sick, and he's so sick, but I'm the only one there, and I don't want to stop and like congratulate him or give him money because I feel like it'd be awkward because no one else did, and so I just walk on by. Don't be like me. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life.
Be a better
powerful
person.
Message, by the way. This is powerful stuff. I'm sure everyone's just a tear is just wow. Think of the scenario: beatboxing. Don't want to avoid awkward. Imagine could be your child beatboxing. You know, like, could who knows?
Good thing we're not using cameras because everyone here is just crying from for the personal story that I have shared. We're all a mess right now. Trust me.
Hey, are you a messy bitch? Do you want to get into some drama? Subscribe to the Patreon. We have the messiest dramas.
All right, and we're gonna have to say more just
and I wasn't even.
Worthwhile.
I'll
put my Gene Roddenberry thing on there. There we go. It'll just be a super cut of the spiciest things that we've done during this episode. That I
didn't even say anything about infrared.
we'll
cut that out, please.
Okay.
No, just say infrared and then cut around it and maybe make it like a teaser, and so when they watch, it's just like I didn't say anything about infrared.
I didn't say anything about that.
We're
talking about lasers.
Him. Sorry. Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about him.
Before we end the recording, let's plugs. We'll start out with me. I have a podcast called Left Track. Check it out sometime. Okay, Brian.
Hey everybody, it's me, Trashcan1312, and I Twitch stream and have a Twitter where I don't post pictures of feet, so should come check it out.
Ooh.
Nicole.
Yeah, hi, my name is BadBunny, or call me Nicole. I'm a Twitch streamer. I stream on Twitch 5 days a week. It's twitch.tv/BadBunny. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/BadBunnyOfficialClips, and we're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers because we launched it recently. So I would really appreciate if you smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And I look forward to seeing you in either venue. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/BadBunnyTwitch, and I post all sorts of stuff there. Like, you won't believe the stuff I post there. Brian, can you believe it? Brian, can you believe it when you see it?
I am dumbfounded every time.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's incredible.
Are you into leftist politics? Are you into softcore findom? Check out BadBunny on Twitch.
That's right. Do you want someone to berate you and to make you feel a little like insecure in a kind of a kinky way, but also kind of like a way that makes you genuinely feel a little bit bad about yourself? Make sure you follow me on Twitter. That's actually happened where a findom guy was like, please can I DM you, blah, blah, blah. And so I like DM'd him because I was bored. I'm like, I might as well make $50 or something. I was sitting around and I started like trying to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. People think I'm like this findom person. I'm sitting there trying to dom him, and eventually he's like, can you stop? Like, like I was just too mean. He's like, this isn't okay. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm fucking doing, man. You want me to fucking do a thing? I'm sorry. So yeah, if you want some taste of that sexy sex stuff, make sure you follow me on Twitter. BadBunny Twitch.
That's the end of the recording. Check out next week. We'll have a theme song by Zoe Quinn. Zoe Quinn? That's 2 weeks.
No, that's wrong Zoe.
I'm sorry, my brain is full of Gamergate right now. Zoe Blade, theme song incoming. Look out for that. I'm excited to hear it. We'll see. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
They stole my apes, Odo.
Pardon?
They stole over 1 million bars worth of latinum in apes from me.
What are you talking about, Quark? I'm very busy.
I was having maintenance done on one of my Quark coin servers.
I've had complaints about the amount of station power they're using.
They exploited a backdoor in the system and got away with several highly collectible Quark Spar NFTs.
What do these NFTs look like?
Here, I drew them myself.
Not much of an artist, are you?
The art's not important. They stole the blockchain authentication code for these pieces.
I thought you said that whoever had the blockchain was the owner of the NFT, that the token was non-fungible.
Yes?
Yet you still claim ownership despite having lost the code.
Are you going to help me or not?
What do you want me to do exactly?
I want you to contact Starfleet, the Ferengi Commerce Authority, everyone, and blacklist these NFTs. Nobody wants stolen apes.
I seem to recall you taking great glee in explaining that centralized platforms were obsolete thanks to NFTs.
Well...
But now you want the authorities' help in policing the sale of these things.
I can see I'm wasting my time.
The only people who wasted their time were the thieves who bothered acquiring these hideous things.
You obviously don't know the first thing about cryptocurrency.
I know only a fool would put real money behind such an obvious scam.
There you are, brother. I thought it over. Oh, I'm ready to convert my savings into Quark coin.